Good morning. Buenos dias. Nyate Abedna. Shige do Shidane. She Annalisa Rockbridge is yet. Yes, all is good. I'm Annalisa Rockbridge, and let's begin to learn some yoga. You asked me in class about one of the poses called Sukhasana, and that's where we sit in a seated position with either our front or our left leg crossed in front of us. There are times when our knees sit very high. We can correct that by either sitting on a yoga block or sitting on a pillow. Both will suffice. The yoga block is just a little bit more sturdy, so it allows the hips to raise up and it allows it to be in the same line and plane as your knees. And then again, you can either sit on a pillow or you can take a pillow and tuck it underneath the knee so that it supports the knee in the seated position. So it's not, your knees aren't just sitting up here and you're uncomfortable. You have the support of either a pillow, a book, or a block, or a blanket, a towel rolled up, something that's going to help you support the knees to sustain this position. Again, you can always take a yoga block, which is 3 different levels, the short level, the medium level, and the high level, and sit on that. And that allows you to raise your hips up so they're in the plane of your knees. For this practice, we're going to just find a comfortable seat. You can either sit like this with support under your knees. You can draw your knees together, draw your ankles together, and then sit back on the heels. This is also a very difficult pose. It's called Virasana. So let's find a position that is comfortable for you. And let's find either a block or a blanket so that you can sit on. Once you've found that position, we're going to take 3 cleansing breaths. This is just going to allow us to drop into this present moment today and right now. The only way to become present is through our breath. You cannot breathe in the future and you cannot breathe in the past. The only way you can be present is to follow your breath. So let's begin. Let's seal your lips and take a deep breath in through your nose. Notice how your chest is rising up. Open your mouth and sigh out the air. Let's build on to that. Seal the lips. Take a deep breath in through your nose. The chest is rising up. And then pause at the top of your breath. When you're ready, open mouth, sigh, exhale to let it all go. Let's continue to build on for this last round. Seal your lips. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let the chest rise all the way up. Hold your breath here at the top. And then let's see if we can sip in a little bit more air. Now open mouth, sigh, exhale to let it all go. And just take note as to what that feels like. Let's begin our practice. We're going to begin by laying on our backs. Once you make your way onto your back, you can assess how your lower back is feeling. If you have any pinching or achiness in the lower back, I suggest that you draw your knees in, widen your feet as wide as your mat so they're wider than your hips, and then knock the knees in together so that supports is going to alleviate any pinching. If you are having no pain in the lower back this morning, I suggest you extend both legs out in front of you. And as if there was an imaginary wall in front of you, push and drive your heels into an imaginary wall so all 10 of your toes are sticking straight up into the sky. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and draw the right knee into the chest. You can either interlace your hands below the right knee on the shin or behind the knee. As you begin to exhale, the belly will get smaller and your access to draw the knee closer to the right shoulder. One more breath in. Keep driving that left heel into your imaginary wall. And then on your exhale, let go of the right leg and extend it straight out in front of you. When you're ready to inhale, draw in the left knee into your chest. Choosing which way you want to interlace, either behind the knee or around the shin below the left knee. The right leg is extending straight out in front of you and pushing against an imaginary wall. All 5 toes are straight up in the sky. As you begin to exhale, the belly's going to get smaller. Keep drawing that left knee closer to your shoulder. One more exhale, and then we let go of the left leg straight out in front of us. Take a deep breath in, draw the right knee into the chest. This time we're going to interlace behind the right knee. As we begin to exhale, let's lift the right heel up into the sky. Keep drawing that right knee into the chest though. Exhale, let the right heel drop back down. One more time. Inhale here at the bottom. Exhale, begin to lift up the right heel up into the sky. Keep hold of the right knee. And then exhale, drop the right heel down. Let go of the right knee and extend the right leg straight out in front of you. The next inhale draws your left knee into your chest, interlacing behind the knee. Keep pushing the right heel into the imaginary wall. As we begin to exhale, the left heel comes up into the sky. Inhale, draws it back down. One more time. Inhale here at the bottom. Exhale, the left heel comes up. And then the left heel comes down. Let go of the left leg and extend it straight out in front of you. When you're ready, on your next inhale, bring both of your knees into your chest. Either grab onto the knees or the thighs. If you like, you can interlace your hands and maybe rock side to side, or grab onto the knees and rock side to side. See how that feels on your lower back. Let's take both the hands behind the back of the knees, and then let's rock and roll up the length of our spine until we come into a seated position. Very good. Let's turn around, and we're going to come into what's called a tabletop position. Tabletop position is going to allow the hips to be directly above the knees and the hands, the wrists, to be directly underneath the shoulders. Make sure the pointer finger is pointing straight forward. We're in this nice tabletop position, and we're going to do some spine segmentation. Some people call this cat and cow. Cat and cow is when you're flowing in and out of this pose. But right now what we want to work on is articulating each individual vertebra on our back. So how we do that is by taking a deep breath in. Let's lift the tailbone up into the sky. Let's allow the belly to drop down towards the earth. And as slowly as you can, begin to arch and pull your chest forward. And then we're going to look at the edge of the border in the house. So stay here. Let's exhale. Tuck the tailbone. Draw it underneath you. Suck the belly button all the way up into the spine. Begin to round the middle back. Begin to arch the upper back. And then take the chin and tuck it into the chest. So now you should look like this little Halloween cat. Pause here. Take a deep breath in. Lift the tailbone back up into the sky. Keep the chin tucked in this entire time. And then begin to arch in the lower back. Drop the belly down. Begin to arch in the upper back. So you draw the sternum and the chest forward through the arms. And now you're going to begin to lift and walk your gaze up towards either a light switch or a windowsill. Pause there. Exhale, draw the tailbone in and down. Suck the belly button up. Begin to arch in the lower back, upper back. And then lastly, allow the chin to drop in and tuck towards the chest. Let's exhale. Keep the chin tucked in, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, arch through the lower back, draw the sternum forward through the arms. This time you're going to walk your gaze all the way up until your eyes reach the ceiling. And then let's exhale. Tuck the tailbone, suck in the belly button, arch the upper back, drop the head, tuck the chin to the chest. And then we're just going to come back into that neutral position. Let's walk the hands up about an inch or two. And then again, let's make sure that those pointer fingers are pointing straight forward. Let's tuck the toes behind us. And then you're going to lift your hips up into the sky. And then you're going to push your arms back. We're coming into what we call Adho Mukha Svanasana. This is downward facing dog. When you come into this position, let's take a look back at our feet. Let's turn the feet outwards so that the heels are pointing at the corners of the mat. Take a look up at your hands. Make sure they're shoulder distance apart and that the pointer fingers are pointing straight forward. What we want to do is come high onto those tippy toes, bend the knees, and push into the hands so the hips go really high. Then straighten out your legs and begin to get the heels to drop down towards the earth. They do not need to touch. My heels are able to touch only because I've been doing this practice consistently. So you should be pushing down into your hands and away. When you're ready, take a look up at your right hand. Take your right foot and step your right foot up to your right hand. Step your left foot up to your left hand. You're at a forward fold at the top of the mat. Drop your head, the crown of your head, down towards the earth. Put a bend in your knees so that you're able to touch the ground. And then lean forward into your toes. This is Uttanasana, forward fold. Again, if you have blocks, you're also welcome to use those as extensions of your hands. It helps raise the floor up, as you can see. But the more bend you put in your knees, you're able to access the earth with the hands. Lean forward into the toes. Feel the stretch from the Achilles tendons, the gastrocnemius, the hamstrings, all the way up to the glutes. When you're ready, we're going to slide our hands underneath the shins. We're going to straighten out our spine, and we're going to look straight down to the earth. Keep leaning forward in the toes. You should now feel this behind the popliteal, which is the area behind your knee. Your core is nice and tight. On an exhale, hands come to the hips and then stand all the way up into the sky. Very nice. Let's anatomically stack all of our bones on top of each other. So draw your feet together so that the big toes touch, and then there's a small sliver of space in between the heels. So the feet aren't touching like this. The big toes are touching, and then there's a sliver of space in between the heels. This is going to be an invisible action. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift the arches of your feet by lifting the kneecaps up. We access those body parts by tightening our thighs. So standing here, just tighten those thighs up, and you'll notice the kneecaps lifted up, the arches lifted up. Once you've tightened your thighs, notice if maybe the glutes and the coccyx area, the sacrum, is sticking out. You want to draw that down. When you draw this down, it's called a pelvic tilt, and these hip points are moving forward. So see how I'm able to drop. So I'm not just, I'm not tucking like this. Thighs are nice and activated, and I'm dropping my tailbone, drawing my lower abdominals in. I'm not sticking out my ribs like this. I'm drawing those ribs in. So I simultaneously drew the ribs in and dropped the tailbone down. Now lift the sternum up. Drop the shoulders away from your ears as if you had weights in your hands and you're trying to make room from the shoulder to the ear. Take your gaze and look straight ahead. When you're ready, on an inhale, begin to lift your hands in front of you, but let the pinkies lead all the way up to the sky. Once your hands make their way up above your head, allow the palms to face each other. You're going to do that facing you. So as we inhale, the hands float forward, the palms turn up, and then now my pinkies are turning up towards the sky. Once my hands are above my head, my palms are facing each other. So my hands look like this above my head. Let's do that one more time. As we inhale, float the hands in front of us, letting the pinkies lead up towards the sky for a full external rotation of the shoulders. Palms face each other at the top of the head. Open the hands out to a T and dive forward for Uttanasana, forward fold. That deep bend in the knees so the hands reach the earth. Drop the top of the head down towards the sky. And then begin to straighten the legs until you feel that stretch. Notice if you're leaning back into the heels. See if you can lean forward into the toes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Slide your hands under the knees. Extend the spine. Look straight down at the earth. This is called Ardha Uttanasana. Let's exhale. Bend the knees again. Put the hands on the earth. Lean forward into the toes. Deep breath in through the nose. Lift the hands all the way up into the sky. This time your palms are going to touch at the top of your head. And then you can look up at your thumbs. When you exhale, pull your hands straight down the center. So I'm going to do that one more time, but I'm going to do this in the forward position so that you can see what it looks like. So as we inhale, the hands float up and above. Pinkies are leaning for the external rotation of the shoulder. Palms face each other at the top of the head. Exhale, open the arms out to a T, bend the knees and fold over both of your legs. Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands come down towards the earth. The top of the head drops down. We lean forward into the toes and begin to straighten the legs any amount that's comfortable to us. Inhale, slide your hands underneath the knees. Extend the spine straight. Look straight down at the earth. Keep leaning forward into the toes. Ardha Uttanasana. As we exhale, we bend the knees. Hands come down to the earth. Head drops. Lean forward into the toes. Uttanasana, forward fold. Push down into your feet. Inhale to stand all the way up into the sky. This time your palms are going to touch at the top of the head. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale, hands come straight down the center for Samasthiti. And then open your hands out to the side. Let's add on to that. So we're going to build on. This time as we inhale, the hands are going to come out to a T, all the way up and above our head. Palms face each other at the top of the head. As we exhale, we dive forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, drop the head, begin to lean forward and extend the legs straight. Inhale, slide the hands underneath the knees. Keep leaning forward and looking down at the earth for Ardha Uttanasana. This time we're going to exhale, fold over the thighs, and we're going to step the right foot back and put the right knee down on the earth. You should be in a low lunge position. In this low lunge, pick up your right knee and scoot it back an inch or two. You can either untuck the toes or leave them tucked, whichever is comfortable for you. On an inhale, hands come on to the left knee. You want to sink down into this. So sink the hips down, allow them to float towards the earth. Put your right hand on your right hip, your left hand on your left hip. Guide your left hip back and guide your right hip forward. Feel that stretch from the iliopsoas area. When you want to work on balance, you can back off. Take the belly off of that thigh. Straighten the spine by picking the back ribs up off of the waist. Taking a deep breath in, lifting the hands above the head. Touching the palms, and then looking up at the thumbs. When you're ready to exhale, the hands come down towards the earth. You're going to pick up your right knee, step the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, slide your hands under your knees, lean forward, look down at the earth. Exhale, hands come down towards the earth. Step the left foot down, back, put the left knee down. Again, if this pose is accessing that stretch on your left hip, stop there. If you want to go deeper, you can slide that left knee back and then sink into the pose. You can always guide the right hip back, left hip forward. If you want to work on stability and balance, lift the belly off of the thigh, hands float up into the sky, palms touch, look up at the thumbs. When you want to exhale, the hands come down to the earth. This time you're going to pick up that left knee. You're going to pick up the right foot and step it back. You're at the top of a push-up. Lean forward in your toes and then bend your elbows halfway. Now lower yourself all the way down to the earth. Flatten out your feet, so put the tops of your feet down on the earth, push the tops of your toes into the earth, draw the ankles together, and then push your pubic bone into the earth. Slide your hands back next to your ribs, draw your elbows in. Take a deep breath in, and then just lift your forehead and your chest away. This is called Bhunjanasana, Baby Cobra. Exhale, put your left cheek on the earth. Ankles draw in, push pubic down into the floor, push the hands into the earth, draw the elbows in. Lift the forehead, lift the chest away. Bhunjanasana, Baby Cobra. Exhale, right cheek goes down. Last time, draw your ankles together, draw your elbows together, push down into your hands and lift the chest and the forehead away. Let's pass through that tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, push them back. You're back into that Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Looking up at the hands are at shoulder distance apart. Looking back at the feet, the heels are displayed outwards. Come high onto the tippy toes, bend the knees deep, push into the hands to lift the hips up into the sky. Straighten the legs and then begin to lower the heels to the earth. Very nice. One deep inhale. And then step your right foot up to the right hand, your left foot up to the right foot. Inhale, slide your hands underneath the knees, Elongate the spine, lean forward in the toes, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands come onto the hips, push down into the feet and stand all the way up into the sky. Very nice. Let's take a big step out to the right. When you make that big step out to the right, let's externally rotate this right hip, knee, ankle, and foot. So we're not just turning the foot out. That's not an external rotation. You want to take your entire leg, make sure you can feel that femur bone within your sacrum, and then your coccyx, your turn. So again, you're not just flopping the toe open, you're turning your thigh, your knee, the shin, and the foot. Pick up your back, ankle, and then drop it back at a 45-degree angle. So now your right foot is pointing straight forward, your left back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Deep bend in that right knee. You need a wider stance. And then the hands come out to a T. This is called Virabhadrasana 2. You might feel this in the hip area. You might feel this in the groin area. Let's straighten out that back leg as straight as possible. Deep bend in that right knee. The hands come out to a T. People have a tendency to want to lean forward, but what I like you to do is lean back as if you're reaching for the door or the handle to open. We're going to place our right forearm onto the right thigh and stick the left hand up into the sky. We're going to use our forearm on our thigh as traction to twist the body open so that the belly and the chest go up towards the sky. As you exhale, push down into that right leg, come back into that Virabhadrasana 2, straighten out the right leg, hands come onto the hips, draw that right foot in. Take a deep breath, look up to the sky. As you exhale, fold over both of your legs, hands come down to the earth. Begin to walk your hands back so the heels of the hands are in line with the heels of your feet. You can bend your elbows, and just like before, we're leaning forward into the toes. We're trying to access all those muscles in the back of our legs. Trying to get those to elongate, to stretch. Forward folding allows us to alleviate any stress on the lower back. Your head does not need to touch the earth, but it may. One more breath. Begin to walk your hands until they're underneath your face. Hands come onto the hips and then stand all the way straight up. Very good. You can heel toe your feet together so you can shorten your stance. But just like before, we're now going to take the entire left leg from the femur. I want to say that's your occipital bone, but it's not. There's a divot in your pelvis. You want to feel that femur rotating your entire thigh, knee, shin, foot, and ankle. Pick up the right ankle, drop it back, deep bend in the left knee, hands come out to a T. If you need to widen your stance, you can always do that. Reach back with your right hand. Take a deep breath. Left forearm goes onto the left thigh, right hand up into the sky. Use the left forearm as traction to turn the belly and the chest up towards the sky. Again, you should feel this again on the adductor muscles of your thighs. One more inhale. Exhale, float us back into Vira 2. Straightening out that leg. Turning the heel in. Hands come on the hips. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Very nice. Let's make our way up to the top of the mat. Take a deep breath in. Hands float up. As we exhale, let's sit down into an imaginary chair until we can sit all the way down onto our glutes. And then let's see if we can lower down all the way onto our backs, articulating our spine one vertebra at a time. Keep the knees bent, so keep the feet planted on the earth, but widen them about the distance of your hips. Place your hands right next to your hips. Push your feet into the earth. Push your hands into the earth. Lift the hips up. This is called Setubandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. Let's exhale, begin to lower down. Again, articulating our spine, one vertebra at a time. So we're not just plopping down. Let's do that again. Feet are hips distance apart, hands are next to the waist. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, lift the hips up. This time, tuck your right shoulder underneath you, tuck your left shoulder, and maybe your hands can interlace underneath you. Keep pushing down on the feet, lifting the hips up. Do not turn your neck anytime during this position. Keep holding on to the clasp of the hands if you have them. Begin to lower your hips down onto the wrists, and then maybe rock side to side, giving your wrists a little bit of a massage. Let go of the hands. Allow the hips to completely come down towards the earth. Take a deep breath in. Pick your right foot up and cross the right ankle over the left knee. You can push your right knee away from you. If you feel the stretch already on the right hip, you can stop there. If you want to layer onto this pose, begin by flexing that right foot back. So this is a dorsiflexion, where the toes are pointing toward the body. You're going to pick up the left foot and draw the left knee into your chest. And then you're going to put your hand in between the little hole and then interlace your hand behind the knee or around the shin. You can pause here. Notice how it's now stretching out that entire glute area. If you want to layer on one more time and change the position of this stretch, slightly lean over onto your left hip so your left ankle and your left shoulder are in the same line. And then one more layer. You don't have to do any of these layerings. Always listen to your body and stop when you feel the stretch. Breathe into it. But if you are feeling as if you want to layer on, take your right elbow and then push it against the right knee. Let's take one more breath. And then let's exhale, let it all go. Remember, one side is going to feel different than the other. Let's pick up this. I'm going to turn so that you can see what it looks like on a different position. So let's pick up the left ankle and cross it over the right knee. Inhale here and draw the right knee into the chest. Flex back, dorsiflex your toes. Take your left hand, put it in the little hole. Take your right hand and either interlace around or behind. Notice how my head and my neck and my shoulders never left the earth. If you have to lean up and to get into this pose, let go of whatever it is you were holding on to. Let the head, neck, and shoulders come back down towards the earth. Put the right foot down and just push the left knee away from you. But once you're able to draw that right knee in, interlace, and choose how you want to layer on, either by leaning over towards the right hip so the right ankle and right shoulder are in line. You can extend the left elbow so that you can give it some extra traction towards the left knee. But notice if you're holding your breath to hold the pose. Continue to breathe through the most difficult parts. When you're ready, on your next exhale, We're going to let go of the pose, let go of the thoughts and the breath. Let's extend both of our legs straight out in front of us. And then when you're ready, draw both of the knees into your chest one last time. Give yourself a little hug and a squeeze for showing up today. Rock and roll yourself up the length of your spine. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Draw your ankles together. Inhale, take a deep breath in, lift your hands up and above your head. Palms face each other at the top of your head. As you exhale, fold over both of your legs. You can grab onto the sides of the shins. You can grab onto the sides of your feet. You can take your 2 peace fingers and grab onto your big toes. Grab onto the sides of the mat. But whatever it is you're holding on to, elongate the spine and then fold over both of your legs. This is Paschimottanasana forward fold. Seated. And then again, you're going to feel this all the way from the back of the hamstrings up to the lower back to your neck. Just breathe. Notice your mind's going to start to begin to wander to your next plan, your next meal. And that's okay. It's natural and normal. But see if you can take a deep breath in. Get the belly to touch the thighs. Get the back of the ribs to expand. Exhale, the belly gets smaller. You can fold in a little bit more. Last time, take a deep breath in. Hold on to whatever it is you have. Lift the gaze up. And then this time we exhale to let everything go. Just like we started our practice, let's find that comfortable position. If you started the practice in the Sukhasana with the support underneath your legs, I suggest that you just put the opposite leg in front. We have a tendency to put the right leg in front. As you close your practice, you can close it with the left leg in front. Or you can sit in your Virasana. We're just going to close our practice with a set of box breath. Box breath is a style of breathing that is taught in to the Navy SEALs and is one of the most widely sought after breath sessions. And this is just going to help us to elongate the breath and to drop into the present moment. So when you're ready, let's begin. We're going to inhale for the count of 3. 1. You can do by a long inhale like this, or you can do little sips like this. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3. And let's just hold our breath. 1, 2, 3. Let's exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath here, the bottom of the breath, for the count of 2 and 3. Let's inhale. 1, 2, 3. Holding your breath again for the count of 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath here at the bottom for the count of 2, 3. Inhale here. 1, 2, 3. Holding your breath. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Let it go for 1, 2, 3. Holding your breath here at the bottom for the count of 2 and 3. Just take a normal breath in. Fill up your lungs like normal. Nothing forced, nothing counted. And then just let it go. All right. I hope you were able to feel some mobility or some movement there, some stretching. On Tuesday, we don't have any class, so I can do a mobility, or what I've learned through mobility. I can post the video that will complement this lower body situation with the lower body mobility. And then I will add one more upper body yoga that will kind of access the shoulders, the back, and then we can do a mobility upper body as well. All right, have a great afternoon. If you want to meet up still on Tuesday at school, let me know, and then maybe we could just do a session in person.